The morning sun filtered through the studio windows of ABC's The View, casting golden rays on the brightly lit set. The hosts were seated, sipping their coffee, as the studio audience eagerly waited for the show's biggest guest in weeks. Mark Wahlberg. Known for his tough guy persona in films and his deep-rooted Catholic faith off-screen, Mark had always walked the line between Hollywood glamour and grounded values. He wasn't the typical celebrity guest. He rarely did talk shows, and when he did, it was with intention. Joy Behar adjusted her glasses and leaned toward the mic. "We've got quite a show today," she announced, forcing a grin. "Mark Wahlberg is joining us. You know him, the Boston boy who made it big. Actor, producer, apparently. Philosopher now, too." The jab earned a few chuckles, but the air was thick with tension. Joy's sarcasm was unmistakable, and the other hosts glanced at each other. Whoopi Goldberg raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Mark entered with a calm confidence, wearing a simple black polo and jeans. He shook hands with each host, even Joy, whose smile didn't reach her eyes. The audience erupted in applause, and Mark flashed a warm smile. "Thanks for having me," he said, taking a seat. "We'll see if you still feel that way after the next 10 minutes, Joy quipped. The banter began lightly, with Mark talking about his new film, his morning routine, and his foundation that supported inner-city youth. But then the conversation took a turn. Joy leaned forward. "Mark, let's talk about your faith. You've been pretty outspoken about your religion lately, going to Mass every day, talking about God on Instagram. Aren't you worried that people find that off-putting?" Mark blinked, unfazed. "Off-putting? I don't think sharing gratitude or encouraging people to find hope is off-putting." "But this is Hollywood," Joy interrupted. "It's not church." Mark smiled, his tone calm. "Hollywood is exactly where people need faith the most." The studio audience murmured with mixed reactions. Mark's words weren't angry. They were intentional, sincere, yet Joy wasn't done. "Don't you think it's a little preachy?" she pressed. "Some might say it's arrogant to think your faith is the only way." "I never said that," Mark replied, the smile fading just slightly. "I talk about my journey. I've never judged anyone else's." Joy folded her arms. "Well, it sounds a bit like judgment to me." A hush fell over the room. Mark leaned back in his chair, took a breath, and looked her in the eyes. "You know what's arrogant?" he said slowly. "Assuming someone's intentions just because their beliefs make you uncomfortable." The room froze. Whoopi looked away, visibly uncomfortable. Sarah N. fidgeted with her pen. Joy chuckled, attempting to diffuse the tension. "Touchy, aren't we?" "I'm not here to argue," Mark said, his voice steady. "But I won't apologize for trying to live with purpose. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, and faith gave me the chance to grow." "That's not arrogance, it's grace." The audience erupted in applause. The host looked surprised. But Joy, feeling her control slipping, doubled down. "You talk about grace, but let's be real, you're still part of a system that worships money and fame. Isn't that a bit hypocritical?" Mark paused. His jaw clenched slightly. "I use what I've earned to help others," he said. "I didn't come from money. I came from a neighborhood where kids don't make it out. I give back, not to prove anything, but because I remember where I came from." Joy scoffed. "Oh, please. You're a millionaire preaching humility. Come on, that was the moment." Mark stood up. He didn't shout. He didn't storm. Just looked at Joy and said, "I came on this show to have a conversation, not to be mocked. If you can't respect that, then maybe I'm in the wrong place." He turned to the audience. "Thanks for listening." Then he walked off. Silence. The camera stayed on the empty chair for a moment before cutting to commercial. Backstage, Mark exhaled deeply. A producer approached him, wide-eyed. "I've never seen that happen before." "Maybe someone needed to," Mark replied. The moment went viral within hours. Twitter exploded with hashtags. Hashtag Mark walks off. Hashtag respect faith. Hashtag the view clash. People on both sides debated what had happened. Some praised Mark for standing up with dignity. Others defended Joy's right to challenge. But one thing was certain. Mark Wahlberg had left an impression. Not through yelling, not through insults, but by walking away from disrespect, standing firm in his truth, and reminding the world that kindness doesn't mean silence. Days later, Mark posted a photo on Instagram, him, sitting on a bench outside a church. The caption read, "Sometimes the loudest statement is walking away. Stay grounded. Stay kind." It garnered millions of likes. Joy never publicly apologized, but the next episode of The View opened on a noticeably humbler note. And across the country, countless viewers reflected not just on a celebrity clash, but on how to disagree with grace. Because sometimes, a moment of truth on live TV can become a heartwarming reminder of what really matters.